Senate Bill 26, the draft budget legislation is to increase teacher salaries in an allotment. That means you put money over here that you then can pay out, but only for salaries. This money for our district, just a quick estimate, is $38 million. But it has to be paid out in salaries. So depending on how we pay out, we can pay out any way we want, but as long as it's salaries. So we anticipate if it stays, our PUA schools will get most of the increase, probably $3,000 to $3,500 increase per student, per teacher on average with this bucket of money.
But isn't the challenge, it's a one-time deal, not a $3,000 raise forever? And that's something, that's what you have to remember. It's a one-time deal.
So that has been a point of big discussion in the legislature already. And the notion is that this is an allotment that would keep going, an allotment, instead of a payout. So the allotment will stay just like state comp ed allotment. So that's a good thing. What we've been arguing, you heard me, Rick, and since then, Matthew Giles took a trip up to the Austin, I don't know, earlier this week, and handed a letter to Buckley and the Creighton's team, and said, "Look, we appreciate the increase in teacher salaries. That's great. We love that. However, this district increased teacher salaries $8,000." Since before I got here to now, $8,000 on average. That's a fact, and that's why we have the highest, teacher salaries in the area. By the way, March 1st, Saturday, is our first teacher job fair. We have over 1,300 people registered. That means we're going to have 2,000 people there, and one of the reasons is that we have the highest compensation in the area. Also, 95% of our teachers on the intent to return survey want to return to HISD, both the PUA side and the NES side. 27% of the PUA side want to teach in NES. Part of that is because of high salary. Not only, but that's part of it. So what the letter that Matthew gave them is that if we already have a certain high salary that's above everybody else on average, could we then use some of that money for other classroom things like teacher apprentices, like learning coaches, like better curriculum or Zern or Mira, or these things that all help teachers, but wouldn't then increase our 8,000, that 4,000 more per teacher or something like that. So we think that will not be well received, but we put it out there anyway.
I was going to ask a question about that, right? Our NES teachers that just received the salaries that they're at now. I know it's a discussion for another day, but on the other that we thought was just a one-time thing, is it something we might look at that we treat it as a one-time thing? So maybe it's a end-of-the-year bonus or something like that, so it's not expected for the next year in case we don't get it. Is that something that strategically we might think about? So
that's good thinking, and the answer is yes. You'll see in our state comp manual, which gets published,
we might think about some things